Real quick, Pat, to bring us up to speed.
So far we've got, I guess, tax evasion. We've got, we're trying to help them find low-income housing to set up a bordello in somebody's neighborhood. We've got 13 underage illegal alien prostitutes that are fine that they're trying to also help them with, and the ACORN representative here who was helping the two people posing as the boyfriend and a prostitute. And Hannah's with us, the person who played the prostitute. The ACORN representative, who's an accountant supposedly, also said that they could use the 13 illegal aliens from El Salvador as dependents.
Let's just play that part again, and then we'll go back to Hannah.
There's another variable here that we should talk to you about, which it might complicate our taxes, is that we got a couple girls overseas coming over, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they're very young, and we don't want to put them on the books.
They're kind of dependent.
They're from El Salvador.
Okay.
There's like 13 of them.
Okay.
And they're probably going to move into the house
just
that we get.
for a year or two to get them on their feet.
Just to get them on their feet so they can do this type of thing.
So you want to put... okay, why do y'all even want to do taxes? Oh, because it's a house.
Because we need the house. And everyone else has been discriminatory. But the point is that there's going to be 13 El Salvadorian girls coming into this house. Mm-hmm. We don't want that to cause any trouble.
I mean,
as far as
anything,
taxes,
as far as the feds coming in, saying you got girls.
As far as the feds coming in, as far as the house is concerned, fine. But the tax part, now, if you want to cover yourself on that part, you can issue them 1099s.
But they're not even legal citizens.
Well, I mean, couldn't they, like, if I am a performing artist,
okay,
and I
if they don't have Social Security numbers,
right?
Yeah.
Then you don't have to worry because they can't file taxes anyway.
So they can just be like,
what are we supposed to do about them? We don't have to worry about them?
You don't have to worry about them. You don't, and not unless they're going to get, if they're going to go get an ID, a federal, if they're going to get a Social Security number, even for working.
Well, they're like 15.
Oh, well, then you don't worry about them. They're not old enough.
Okay, we don't have to worry about that.
They'll only be with me a year.
Yeah,
maybe two.
Just to make some money and get their feet off the ground, they'll probably go back to El Salvador.
And by the time they're older, they're not my problem.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But we're gonna be putting a roof over these people's house,
just for what?
Roof over their heads in addition to.
But then you know what? You can always claim them as dependents.
There you go. Always claim them as dependents.
Hannah, the woman who played the voice that you hear in the background, and you said at one point, why taxes? I'm going to be paying government taxes, or I'm going to be paying them back. This is because this is part of your character that you have been a prostitute since you were 13, right?
Correct.
Okay. And anybody who thinks these people are compassionate, they're talking to a sweet young girl who is in prostitution since she was 13 and now wants to bring other 13-year-old illegal aliens into the country to engage in prostitution. And ACORN is more than willing to help them do it.
Well, she's already said she should be proud of her prostitution.
Yes.
So you guys really had the story down. How long did it take you? I mean, you must have gone over the details because it unfolds like it was really, a real situation.
Honestly, we had a couple different scenarios. We came up with this scenario. It was always the prostitute and a boyfriend, but we came up with this scenario the night before.
Wow!
And we talked about it, and we just basically our thing was go with the flow, see how it goes. Don't limit what can be said and what we can discover, and sky's the limit. If we're meant to find some incriminating stuff, we will.
Obama is saying this morning the time to act is right now. They're trying to rush you into everything. And the reason why they're trying to rush you into everything is because they damn near have us. They damn near have us. The corruption is so far out of control. The control of the Republic is not really even in Congress. And this is something I'm going to talk to the 912ers about on Saturday. Because I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I know the way out now, gang. I know it. And I'll debut that on Saturday, and then we'll talk about it again all the way through the week, Saturday 1 to 3 on Fox, as we cover the March on Washington and D.C. on 9/12. But he's saying the time to act is right now because the unraveling is about to begin. One part that we haven't talked about is this idea that your boyfriend was going to go into politics, right?
Correct.
Explain this part of it.
Okay, so we went in. I was a prostitute wanting a house to hide from a pimp. Now, in the meantime, I also wanted to have these underage girls used to make money. the reason why I wanted to make money off of these underage illegal girls in the sex trade was to give money to my boyfriend who wanted to run for Congress one day, who had congressional aspirations, and to better the community and get involved locally. So what better way to get involved locally in Baltimore than by running a whorehouse?
You know what? How many people this makes sense to in our government right now? They're like,
sad.
absolutely, right on.
That's how I did it.
That's how I did it. We should call Fidel. He's got some great health care, too. Okay, this is why I said to you that the healthcare thing is irrelevant. Everything is irrelevant right now because it is corrupt to the core in Washington. And until you stop the corruption, you are not going to recognize this country. You're not going to recognize it. Now, here's the good news. We've been worrying about paying off the deficit. If we could just get everybody to be hookers, maybe we could, if we get some illegals just to be hookers, maybe we could pay this all off.
You have any leads for us, Hannah, on like a whole bunch of hookers?
Like 13-year-olds?
I think you should probably ask Shira and Tanya.
Yeah.
They might have the lowdown, like on, illegal paperwork.
Well, it is so nonchalant. It is so every day. You just wonder if this has happened. How many times at ACORN?
Okay, so let me just end this with how it ended on the videotape. How did it end at the very end?
At the very end, right before we walked out, Shira and Tanya did a little dance, told me that if they could wear what I was wearing and do what I do, they would do it. And then they hugged me and wished me good luck. And they also told me that once I file my taxes one time, I don't have to be honest about filing them in the future. Then I can store away money and buy my next house in cash, and I won't have to deal with the government.
Wow.
America, this is who your president is in bed with. ACORN. And just so you know, no matter what ACORN says, they're going to do exactly the same thing they did with Van Jones. They will sweep these people out. When we come back, I'm going to check with our attorneys and show you exactly how long these people should be in prison. But I want you to know it's not the local level. This kind of corruption doesn't happen at the local level. We have people inside ACORN, African Americans inside ACORN, that have loved ACORN and believed in ACORN until they got into ACORN. And they call this a plantation project because the ones that are behind ACORN are white. They are insidious people. Don't pay attention just to the people at ACORN, because those people will shut ACORN. I told you before, it's a shell game. They will, at the end of this, they will shut it down and open it up someplace else. You must go to the root. And unfortunately, the root of ACORN leads all the way back to the power circle in the Oval Office.